Guys, but let me ask you, my people, what is gist without you? Absolutely nothing. That's why I need you to be part of this amazing family. Don't just stand there watching like a stranger in the market. Hit that subscribe button right now. It won't cost you a dime, but it will make sure you never miss the hottest updates flying around the entertainment world. And watch till the end, honestly you enjoy it. So guys, have you ever experienced this feeling when you've been watching a movie and just when you think you know exactly how it's going to end, the plot twist hits you like a speeding downfall bus on Lagos Ibadan Expressway? Well, that's exactly what happened when Sonia Uche decided to finally open her mouth about the whole Maurice Sam and Bryan Okwara situation. The internet practically exploded, WhatsApp status updates went into overdrive, and Twitter became a war zone. People who had been shipping Maurice and Sonia harder than DHL ships packages suddenly felt like they'd been bamboozled, hoodwinked, and led astray like sheep to the slaughter. The silence that Sonia had maintained for so long, the silence that had people creating entire love stories in their heads, had finally been broken, and boy, nobody was ready for what came out of her mouth. For months, social media had been buzzing with speculation about what was really going on between these three Nollywood stars. Every Instagram post was analyzed like it was a final year project, every comment section became a detective agency, and every photo together was proof that something was definitely cooking in the kitchen. Maurice Sam and Sonia Uche had this chemistry that you could feel through your phone screen, the kind that makes you forget you're just watching actors who probably rehearsed those romantic scenes 50 times before getting it right. They'd post playful comments under each other's pictures, exchange banter that had people screaming couple goals louder than a stadium full of football fans, and generally acted like two people who were either deeply in love or deserved an Oscar for the greatest acting performance of the century. Meanwhile, Bryan Okwara was lurking in the background like a character in a suspense novel, and people couldn't quite figure out where he fit into this puzzle. The whole thing reached fever pitch when Maurice Sam apparently decided he'd had enough of whatever was going on behind the scenes and confronted Bryan Okwara. Now, whether this confrontation happened at some fancy Lagos party where the champagne flows like water or in a heated Instagram live session that broke the internet, the details were fuzzy, but the message was crystal clear: Maurice was not happy about Bryan's involvement with Sonia. Can you even blame the guy? Here he was, probably thinking he had something special with Sonia, only to find out that Bryan Okwara, with his tall frame and model good looks, was apparently also in the picture. It's like ordering jollof rice at a party and finding out someone else has been eating from your plate, except this plate was a whole human being with feelings and a massive social media following. Social media went absolutely bonkers when news of this confrontation leaked out. Team Maurice came out in full force, defending their guy like he was their blood brother, posting long paragraphs about loyalty and how Sonia had played him dirty. They dug up every single interaction between Maurice and Sonia, every flirty comment, every romantic scene from their movies, and presented it as evidence in the court of public opinion. These people turned into CSI investigators overnight, analyzing timestamps, checking who liked what post fast, and creating elaborate timelines that would make a historian proud. Meanwhile, Team Bryan was equally vocal, arguing that their man had every right to pursue whoever he wanted and that Maurice needed to calm down and accept that Sonia wasn't his property. The comment sections became battlegrounds where friendships were tested and people who had never even met these celebrities were ready to throw hands for their favorite. But the real kicker, the thing that made this whole situation spiral into complete madness, was Sonia's silence. While Maurice and Bryan were apparently having their public showdown, while social media was tearing itself apart trying to figure out who was in the right, Sonia Uche said absolutely nothing. She went about her business, posting her gorgeous selfies, promoting her latest movie projects, and dropping cryptic quotes about peace and minding your own business that only made people more confused and frustrated. It was like watching a movie where the main character refuses to explain what's happening, and you're sitting there screaming at your screen wondering why she won't just tell everyone the truth. Her silence became louder than any statement she could have made, and people started filling in the blanks with their own theories, some of which were so wild they could have been Netflix series. The longer Sonia stayed quiet, the more people assumed that Maurice was the victim in this situation and that she was playing games with both men's hearts. Poor Maurice became the poster child for men who get friend-zoned, led on, and left confused about where they stand. His fan base grew exponentially as people who had never even watched his movies suddenly became his biggest supporters, flooding his page with encouraging messages and telling him he deserved better. Women were calling Sonia all sorts of names, accusing her of being manipulative and enjoying the attention from two men without caring about the damage she was causing. Men were using Maurice's situation as proof that women are confusing creatures who don't know what they want, and relationship experts who nobody asked started posting long analysis videos about red flags and mixed signals. Then came the playful interactions that people now look back on with completely different eyes. All those times Sonia and Maurice were joking around in comment sections, calling each other pet names, and acting like the best of friends suddenly seemed like cruel games to the disappointed fans. They felt like Sonia had been stringing Maurice along, giving him just enough hope to keep him interested while she was apparently entertaining Bryan Okwara on the side. It's like when you're watching a comedy and then someone tells you it's actually a tragedy, and you have to go back and rewatch everything with this new information, and suddenly all the funny parts aren't funny anymore. People were going through Sonia's old posts with this new perspective, and every heart emoji, every laughing face, every flirty comment now seemed like evidence of betrayal. Maurice, for his part, became something of a martyr in all of this. Whether he asked for it or not, he was now the face of heartbreak in Nollywood, the guy who thought he had something real only to find out he was possibly just one of many options. His followers treated him like he needed protection from these dangerous women who play with men's emotions, and they weren't about to let Sonia get away with what they perceived as her crimes. They demanded that she speak up, that she clarify what was really going on, that she stop hiding behind her silence and at least give Maurice the respect of a clear answer. But Sonia continued to post her content, attend her events, and live her life like the internet wasn't having a complete meltdown over her love life. When Sonia finally broke her silence, it was like a bomb went off in the entertainment industry. After all the speculation, all the theories, all the defending and attacking, she finally decided to address the situation, and people gathered around their phones like it was the second coming. But here's where things got really interesting. Instead of people being relieved that she finally spoke up, many of them turned against her even more viciously than before. Her fans, the same people who had been defending her and telling others to leave her alone, suddenly felt betrayed. They argued that whatever she said now was too little too late, that her long silence had caused irreparable damage to Maurice's reputation, and that by staying quiet for so long, she had basically encouraged all the rumors and speculation to run wild. The backlash was swift and brutal, like a plot twist in a telenovela that nobody saw coming. People who had been Team Sonia switched sides faster than a politician before elections, and suddenly everyone had an opinion about how she should have handled things. They said she should have spoken up the moment the rumors started, that she should have protected Maurice from all the criticism and speculation, that her playful interactions with him were basically leading him on if she didn't have romantic feelings for him. The logic was that by keeping quiet, she allowed people to create narratives that painted Maurice as the victim and her as the villain, and now even though she'd finally spoken, the damage was already done. It's like trying to put toothpaste back in the tube, impossible and messy, and everyone's got an opinion about how you should have kept the cap on tighter in the first place. What made the situation even more complicated was that people started questioning whether Sonia enjoyed the attention from both men and the drama it created online. After all, in the entertainment industry, any publicity is good publicity, and this love triangle had kept her name trending for weeks. Some cynics suggested that her silence was strategic, a way to milk the situation for as long as possible before finally addressing it when the buzz started to die down. Whether this theory had any truth to it or was just bitter speculation from disappointed fans, it added another layer to an already messy situation. People started looking at every aspect of her behavior through this suspicious lens, wondering if the whole thing had been some elaborate publicity stunt or if she genuinely hadn't realized the chaos her silence was causing. The confrontation between Maurice and Bryan added fuel to an already raging fire, turning what might have been private matters between adults into a public spectacle that everyone felt entitled to comment on. Whether Maurice confronted Bryan in person, through social media, or via strongly worded direct messages that somehow leaked to the public, the message was clear: things had gotten messy, feelings were hurt, and someone needed to take responsibility for the confusion. But the question that kept coming up was, why did it have to get to this point before Sonia said anything? Could all this drama have been avoided if she had just been clear about her intentions from the start? Or were people expecting too much from a celebrity who never actually owed them any explanations about her personal life in the first place? The whole saga raises some pretty interesting questions about relationships in the social media age and how much celebrities owe their fans when it comes to their personal lives. Should Sonia have spoken up earlier just because people were speculating? Was she really obligated to protect Maurice's feelings by publicly clarifying their relationship status, or was that his responsibility? And what about Bryan Okwara, who somehow became the villain in many people's narratives just for being involved with Sonia? The situation got so messy that it's hard to even remember what actually happened versus what people assumed happened based on Instagram posts and cryptic tweets. It's like that game of telephone where the message gets more distorted with each person who passes it along, except this time millions of people were playing and nobody knew what the original message even was. Now that the dust is starting to settle and people are beginning to see the situation with clearer eyes, there are important lessons to be learned from this whole mess. Maybe the biggest one is that silence, while sometimes golden, can also be interpreted in a million different ways when people are hungry for information. Sonia's decision to stay quiet might have seemed like the mature thing to do, staying above the drama and not feeding into the gossip mill, but in the end, it only made things worse because people filled that silence with their own stories. And poor Maurice, whether he was genuinely hurt by the situation or just caught up in social media madness, became the symbol of every person who's ever felt led on or confused about where they stand with someone they care about. So here's the thing, and this is where you really need to pay attention: this drama between Sonia, Uche, Maurice, Sam, and Bryan Okwara is bigger than just three Nollywood stars and their complicated relationships. It's about how we as fans and observers invest so much emotion in celebrities' lives that we feel personally betrayed when things don't go the way we expected. It's about how social media has turned private matters into public entertainment, and how one person's silence can be interpreted as guilt, manipulation, or strategic planning depending on who's doing the interpreting. Whether you're Team Maurice, Team Bryan, Team Sonia, or Team Mind Your Business, The real question is, what does this say about us and our obsession with other people's love lives? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is far from over, and don't forget to subscribe if you want more deep dives into the drama that keeps Nollywood interesting. What do you think Sonia should have done differently, and was Maurice right to confront Bryan, or should he have taken it up with Sonia directly? Let's discuss, because clearly, we all have opinions about this mess. Do well to subscribe, share and comment.